evening from London, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis in 45 minutes. And of course, if you guys are watching live across our various social media platforms, please live comment throughout, and we will read them throughout this podcast because we love to hear what you guys think. I'm the host, Ben Allison, of course, but also joining me today, we have firstly the co-host of the show, Clark Taylor. How are you, Clark?
I'm doing really well, and I've been meaning to ask you this question for a while now because I know it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But when did you speed up the countdown so that it's not actually 30 seconds anymore? Because that's thrown me off for like 2 months now. That thing's got to be like 15 seconds.
It's
at the
exactly
most.
30 seconds still.
No,
Yeah.
there's no
Exactly
way,
30
dude. Those
still.
numbers are
Yeah.
flying at the
I
end.
just double checked.
Those numbers
Yeah.
are just flying.
Well, but here's the thing. They don't stay on there for 1 second, do they? Because the 1 second includes them coming in and going up. So it's maths, Clark, and you hate maths. It's not a good mix to work this out.
I'm bamboozled.
Also joining us today with the head of opinions, Anthony Ricciardi. How are you, Anthony?
I'm doing all right. I have to reset the counter to Clark with math back down to 0.
Oh, gosh.
But no, it should be a fun show. We're covering a lot of fun topics, and let's just get into it.
Absolutely. And also joining us today, we have Tommy. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing great, Ben. It's glad to be back. It's been a busy couple of weeks over here at the Welsh household, so it's fun to be back on talking some wrestling with you guys.
Absolutely. It's great to have you back. Clark, I want to talk to you first, right? Because last night I was shocked that my phone wasn't exploding. I was shocked that I hadn't received a variety of green screen reels from you, several tweets, all of this stuff. Why? Well, because Undertaker went on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Shout out to Chris. And
CVV.
Undertaker, yeah.
The kids are calling him.
Wait, what? CVV, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool nickname.
Just abbreviated. But basically, Undertaker went on there and he said basically exactly what you've been saying for months and months and months about Cody Rhodes. He said that Cody, he looks more like a heel. He's going to be a great heel. He did say he's also a phenomenal babyface and he's doing a great job now. Slightly different to what you say. But he basically did say he looks more like a heel. He sounds more like a heel. He acts like a heel. And he's going to be a phenomenal heel. Also known as exactly what you've been saying for the past 12, 18 months. And everybody's been calling you out for it. I'd be fuming.
It's been 18 months. I'm not fuming. It's called poetic justice, Ben. And I'm fired up about it. Undertaker, Mark Calloway, monster shout out. Thanks for having my back. As always, the guy dresses up in suits, tie clips. He's got a personal tailor. This guy's got a closet full of clothes that Goodwill would love. He's a heel. He's out there in custom shoes, Rolex wearing, limousine riding, jet flying. He's the modern day Flair. He's bleach blonde and ready to go. Taker's right. And I didn't thank you, Undertaker. Thank you. But I didn't even need it to know it. I've been watching it the whole time. And so no, I didn't need to overreact. It was just a nice little backup from good old Mark Calloway for Clark Taylor. He's got my back on this. Yeah, Cody's a heel. He's a better heel than he is a face. He is a heel.
I mean, I will agree, and I always have agreed, right, that he does, he even holds the title like a heel,
guitar.
Right?
He's about to break out into a solo.
he becomes Joe Hendry, which we'll get onto in just a bit. But no, I do agree with you. He does have, I don't want to say he has a punchable face because that's mean. And I'm a big Cody Rhodes guy.
He does.
But he does have a bit of a punchable face.
It's a very punchable face. Yes.
With all due respect to the
he has frosted tips and it's 2024.
And that's the thing, though, right? When he does turn heel, there's two routes he can go down. He can either become Homelander, right? Keep the blonde hair and become Homelander, or he can dye it black again, because when it's dyed black, he looks even more like a heel.
The jet black move in AEW was hilarious, and if he brings that back in WWE, I'll lose my mind. I'll laugh so hard if he comes out with the jet black hair and goes for it. I'm in. I'm 100% in. Grow the mustache too.
Oh,
can.
yes, absolutely.
Bring the stash back. Really lean into this. I want to see him cutting vignettes at Nordstrom.
I mean, I do wonder, right, though. Like, and I wondered this at the time in AEW. Like, he had that black hair for like a week. How on earth
Just
did
one
he manage
match.
But how on earth did he manage to dye it black? That's obviously less easy to do. But get it back blonde by the next match? That's what I don't get.
And talk
It's
about
not an
split
easy job.
ends. You'd think you'd dry it out too. That's
Yeah.
a question for that's a big investment salon wise. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have
That's
to
some
ask.
serious work.
My girlfriend's a hairdresser. I'll have to ask her, but I don't even think she'll know,
Yeah,
right? Because
that
it's meant to
sounds
take
like
2
a
months.
logistical nightmare.
It does. I mean, that's a heel move. He was clearly awful to the hair salon people. They must hate him, right? Again,
Right back.
even a
He's
heel.
like, dye it back.
It's just walking. I don't like it. Had
Dye
one match
it
with it and
back.
I hate it. It sucks. You're awful at your job. I need to finish my story. But we also we got Cav K's K in the comments saying Wrestling Republic rocks. Shout out to you and
Yes.
thank you for commenting. And they're also saying Cody should turn heel after completing a feud with The Rock. Yeah, that's one you want to do while he is still a face, no doubt about it. And Shard is saying he's good at both roles. He is. But bleaching it probably his scalp hates him. Yeah,
Yes.
it must. Again, even to his scalp, he's a heel, right? I mean, Anthony, obviously you're a big Cody guy. I mean, do you think that do you think the Undertaker's wrong here?
No, I think ultimately the true greats in this business are ones that can succeed as both a babyface and a heel over their careers. The goats of the goats have always been able to do both. At some point, Cody will turn heel, but right now, financially, I think I saw something. The numbers came out that he's rivaling Cena numbers, or doing better than him. So I don't see them turning him at any point. When those numbers start going down a little, they'll get ahead of the curve, and that's when he'll turn. I don't think they'll do it while he's still incredibly profitable. It's why they didn't want to turn Cena. That and the Make-A-Wish stuff. And I think Cody probably does a lot of that stuff too. So I don't think they'll turn him right away. I think the two reasons they would start the turn would be either A, they're kind of running out of stuff to do with him as a babyface and they want to get ahead of it, or if the numbers dip at all. And right now the numbers aren't dipping. The numbers keep going up. I mean, they were crowd surfing him in Scotland. I mean, I don't see a turn immediately. And like the comment was about Rock. We want Rock as heel. We want Final Boss Rock. We don't want babyface Rock against heel Cody. We want Final Boss against fan favorite Cody. That's what we want. So keep him a face until you're at least done that, and then you can move on. But I think I don't see a heel turn with him until sometime in 25. I think the rest of 24, he's not turning it at all. I don't think.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. I think 2024, not probably. I think it definitely is too early. I reckon you gotta maybe even either have him lose the title before he turns heel, or if you really want it to be a really long reign, then turn him heel at when it starts to get a little stale. Because of course, compared to Roman, Cody is there all the time, and it's easier to go stale when you're there week on week.
I think one of the best things that Taker, he was always able to stay ahead of the curve before people started saying, "Hey, this looks stale." He would always change a little something, and Jericho's followed that example. Cody is a student in the game. He will probably do the same. He will have a better idea when to turn when the time comes. If he never wants to turn, he could I mean, that's entirely a possibility too. There are people that spent their, but he's been a heel before, so it's not like it's not like Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat was a face his entire run. So I think he will eventually turn. It's just a matter of you got to find the right opponent for him to do it with, and you want the most impact. When you do it, you want an impact. You want Hogan turning, starting the NWO. You want that type of shock. That's what you want. You don't want something where you're like, he's totally going to hit him with the chair. Like, he's turning. You want, wait, what? Like, that's what you want them to make the most impact.
I mean, I don't know if you watch The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
We're not sponsored by them. But, I mean, when Homelander really exposed himself as a villain, I won't spoil it, but obviously there's a defining moment in the show where it becomes clear to all his followers that, hey, he's a bad guy or whatever. But his followers are still like, we love you. It'd be awesome if Cody just continues being a babyface as a heel, just doing what he's doing now, but blatantly being a heel. I think that could be quite fun.
I think the best villains are the ones that don't view themselves as villains, and and that's very much Homelander. And I think Cody could do that. I'd almost do it. I didn't turn on you. You turned on me. Like in his mind, he's still the face.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a direction you go because we've seen so many heels go against the crowd, and I think Cody could do something different. I think he could do the heel, but it might be along the lines of it may fall within that weird line like MJF, where he's the lovable scumbag that you hate. Do you love the hate? Like he might get to that point because he has that type of respect from the fans, and the fans are smarter now, so they respect him like an actor that's really good at playing a bad guy. Like I have a feeling
like Homelander and divide fans.
I think that's what's going to happen. I mean,
Cena was the same way. Triple H.
Cena was the same way. Cena technically never turned heel, but he always had half the audience hate him.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So I mean, there's always going to be that portion that doesn't like him. Like straight up.
I hate him.
We know that.
We got a comment, from Calf KSK saying Cody to fans, shut up, I know what I want to talk about.
That would be a good catchphrase.
So he's just gotta keep doing what he's doing, where he keeps asking what they want him to talk about, and then he talks about whatever he wants anyway. He's already doing that gimmick.
Sean says have Arn Anderson pistol with Paul Heyman. And
he pulls the Glock out. We all know.
He pulls the Glock out.
Did they ever trademark Glock Anderson? I know that was talked about. Did they ever trademark that?
It's not a bad idea. Someone look that up.
Shard also said, no, Shard didn't. Calf KSK said he should bring in Brandy when he turns heel. He should have Brandy Rhodes and, of course, Arn Anderson by his side. Anderson with the Glock.
Oh, yeah, because the mother of his children and his wife makes him more of a bad guy than he already is in the suits and the crocodile shoes. That makes perfect sense.
Vendetta.
I mean, Tommy, what do you think about all this? Should he be a heel? Should he be a face? What would you do?
I mean, you guys have touched on it. I think that he is a heel pretending to be a babyface right now with just the way that he walks, acts, and does everything. I mean, if anybody remembers his indie run and his run in ROH and New Japan, he was a heel. He was a bad guy the whole time. He, kicked Jay Lethal in the private parts and won the ROH World Championship and flipped everybody off, and he was the bad guy. But, he's still doing the same type of kind of tactics and maybe a little bit more fan-friendly now. But, I mean, he's just like MJF, too. I mean, he's not being a face. He's still acting like a heel, but people like him. So I think that Cody is just Cody right now, and Cody is on fire, and he will continue to be on fire. I remember a quote from Stone Cold a long time ago is that he kind of acts in that gray area, whether it's a face or a heel. He's just in between, and he's doing both, and he's getting over no matter what. So I really think it's just a matter of, when he really wants to go full heel, will he? And he definitely should bring Brandy in. Brandy's going to get him more heat than he'll ever have. So it'll be fun to see when he makes the turn. definitely go back to the black hair. I agree 100%, and it'll be fun TV. Cody's different in WWE than he was in AEW or the Indies. I don't necessarily understand it. Maybe it's because he did leave and came back, but I mean, it's good TV, it's good business, it's drawing them good money. So just keep rocking and rolling until then.
That is a good point. He is currently, rolling in with the merchandise and all of that. It's making them a lot of money. But yeah, I like what you said right at the start there. He is currently already a heel, but he's pretending to be a babyface. And then, once that mask comes down, again, like Homelander, right? It became a meme, but it's true. Homelander,
Right.
Cody, a lot of comparisons. I like it a lot, and I think it's going to be. Oh, and somebody's saying the ultimate heel move, bring back the spinner belt.
Yes.
So that's
Gotta get a
Soul?
spinning tie clip.
Oh man.
Everybody expects him, right, to bring back, the winged eagle. He comes out with a new belt. Everyone's so excited, and it's the spinner one.
With
That
his
was
neck
just
tattoo in the
brutal.
middle. That's the move.
That'd be
That's the
brutal.
cherry on top. With the neck tattoo right in the middle of the spinner. Just like the old Rated R logo.
I was just gonna say, just like the Rated R logo.
Yeah. Just put it right there.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Keep
that is
and spin it every time. Make sure you spin it.
Make sure it keeps spinning. We want to see the spin on it, right?
Spinning around.
But I want to talk for a second, right, about the fact that I am half Scottish, right? Because it has been an
You
awful
are?
week to be half Scottish. Yeah, until 4 minutes ago,
This
it
whole
was an
time?
awful week. I've been half Scottish this entire time.
You never told me?
My last name, Allison. We originally were in the McAllister clan. We did a heel turn on them.
Okay,
We
that's fair.
betrayed them. They might have betrayed us. I don't know which way it went. And there was a war.
Let's go with you
something. I don't
scammed
know.
them. It makes the story more fun. Anyway.
Yeah.
Here comes the
don't
Home Alone
actually-
reference.
I think it's actually all a bit more complicated. I mean, we might have even been friends when we split off from them. I can't even remember, right? It's all
Honestly, you might have
complicated.
just like lost each other just roaming.
Maybe there was a brand split, and we just got sent to separate
Could have just
brands.
been
I
a
don't know.
geography issue.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially so. But Scotland are currently winning in the Euros 1-0. So it's no longer a bad week to be half Scottish. But last night it certainly was, because Joe Hendry was finally on NXT, and HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, broke my heart because he doesn't believe in Joe Hendry. He got eliminated right away. This comes just a couple of days after Drew McIntyre was screwed by CM Punk in his home nation of Scotland. And I've got a theory. I've got a crazy theory. A theory which I'm 99% sure won't happen, but I'm going to say it anyway. What if, just what if, Drew McIntyre and Joe Hendry join forces and create a forbidden door, a forbidden portal, whatever you want to call it?
Say their
faction?
names.
Yeah, say their names and they'll appear on any promotion, right? Whether it's in Japan, whether it's in TNA, whether it's in WWE, whether it's
Canada,
in Scotland, any of these countries,
Antarctica,
right? Any of them, right?
Scotland,
Honestly.
and Tokyo.
Anyway, no, we won't get into that. But I am genuinely thinking to myself, what if we finally get a Forbidden Door faction, a faction which goes across the Forbidden Door? And what if Drew McIntyre and Joe Hendry have just had enough of being screwed over by Triple H, by Shawn Michaels, these people who are allegedly, cocking right now. And as people said yesterday, you can't turn a pan on where they haven't turned that hob on, they haven't turned that oven on, whatever device they want to use to cook, they haven't turned it on. But Clark, do you think we could see a cross portal, cross door, whatever you want to say, faction? And do you think Joe Hendry was done dirty?
I can't lie to you, Ben. I feel like we're about 2/3 of the way into Braveheart here. The Scots are in a tough position. No doubt about it. They're really getting rained down upon. Hendry and McIntyre is a blast. But as far as the Scottish influence part of it, Glasgow gets their show. Drew doesn't go over. We did have Alba Fire and that team win the tag titles. That was helpful. Nikki Cross is also Scottish and ended Monday Night Raw in a delightful way. But I would love Drew McIntyre and Joe Hendry. Are you kidding me? I'd love anything with Joe Hendry and Drew McIntyre. Yes. The answer is yes. I'm going full Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan there. Like, Why would we not? Who in the world would that hurt? The charisma,
Yeah.
the juxtaposition between the two, and it's the way to bring McIntyre back to being a babyface, where I actually think he's at his finest on the chase. The best portion of McIntyre's career was chasing Brock Lesnar and being the guy that legitimately could take him while still being an underdog. Absolutely, in my mind. And if you pair him with Joe Hendry and get the crowd behind that, I'm all for it. Why would we not?
I've got to disagree with you there, though, Clark. Jokes aside, I mean, I think right now, the past 6 months has been the best Drew McIntyre has ever been. This heel run.
As a heel, I
feel
would
like
agree. I would agree.
overall,
Sustained.
I'd say.
But I go back to that babyface run. And if you look at what the fan reaction was in 2019 at that Rumble, Edge
unreal.
got maybe the biggest pop we've seen, in a long time, right? At a Rumble. McIntyre did too. And then when he eliminated Brock and got the win, the fact that was taken away without fans, that run was his best run on the chase. It was. It felt right. It was organic. It mattered. Drew's true personality came out in front of crowds. It would have been received better than it was given the circumstances.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. I mean, to be honest with you, right, we talk about, Cody finishing his story. Drew McIntyre's got a way more interesting story to finish as far as I'm concerned, right?
I agree.
Because he finally, for years and years, he was meant to be the chosen one. He couldn't be that guy. He tried and tried and tried. He failed. He eventually won the Rumble in 2020, like we said, went on a main event WrestleMania. He won the title, but there was no fans there. Then he spends the next, year or couple of years, trying to get back to the top. He does when he faces Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle, but Solo Sikoa screws him. He then wins the world title at WrestleMania, but CM Punk screws him. And then he main events the first ever pay-per-view in Scotland, and he gets screwed by CM Punk again.
Yes.
I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Really quickly, because I've got the Instagram comments. Moss_E_boy said, "Can you shout me out?" Of course I can. Shout out. Absolutely.
A lot of underscores, but shout out.
Consider it shouted.
It's been shouted out. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see the Instagram comments today because Instagram's just weird.
Us.
But
that's the best one thus far. We got another one that was
down
nice
the
earlier, but
we do have a few ones over on YouTube. Bobby Petito is saying, since Joe Hendry appeared on NXT, who else would you guys like to see him wrestling in WWE? Shawn Michaels. I want to see Joe Hendry beat up Shawn Michaels after that appalling booking yesterday. But I do agree, Frankie Kazarian being in an NXT ring was great. Air fryer gang. Well, unfortunately, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, neither of them know how to use them. But I do
like air fryers.
They're great. They are great. Not very good for you, though,
if
I'm not mistaken. But Calf Case saying, we believe.
This isn't a nutrition show, Ben. Relax.
We're
pro ice cream over here on the daily.
Pro vanilla ice cream actually recommend that for you on diets. Don't they? They recommend like for
ice
dessert.
Cream? I don't know any diet that's ever recommended ice cream, but I'd love to hear about it.
No, it's like you meant to have after dinner, like I think it's 2 scoops of like low fat vanilla ice cream.
You just huck it down the dairy. That's great for me.
Yeah, but I don't know like if it's a special type or something. But yeah, I think it's meant to give you something to look forward to so that it keeps you going for longer. But we started this segment by saying, how it's finally a good time to be half Scottish again. Unfortunately, that didn't even last the half time because Switzerland have scored its 1-0.
Nikki Cross is back. It's a good time to be half Scottish.
I mean, she's gone crazy, hasn't she? But guys, all of you guys are crazy if you guys are not using Next Level, because if you guys don't know what Next Level is, basically they put all our social media links in one place for us, and that one place is nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms linked all in one place. They have an app too. There's a thriving wrestling community on that app. Once again, nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms linked all in one place. But next up, Anthony, I'm bringing you in because I need to talk to you, right, about the
Mhm.
Wyatt 6 or
Mhm.
6 with a 6 at the end, or is it just 6 as in like
I
they're
don't.
about to be sick? We don't know. It's
Mhm.
complicated. The
I think it's
names.
like illness 6.
I mean, I don't
But
like it. But anyway,
six as in sicko, because we know somebody else's books for those. So I don't know. Side note.
but I mean, I do like I love the debut of the Wyatt 6. I'll tell you that much. I might not like the name, but I love the debut. But what I want to ask you, Anthony, is they've debuted now. They're on the main roster now. What do you think? Who are they going to feud with first?
I mean, that's the toughest thing. They had an amazing debut. The problem is they took everyone out, both baby faces and heels. I don't know who you put them up against, realistically. I think they may have the same problem that they had booking Bray. Who do you book them up against? Like, realistically, like that to me was the biggest problem they had with The Fiend, where they made him so super strong, it wasn't believable anybody was going to beat them. And when somebody did beat him, it didn't settle right with people. Much like Clark with ice cream would. But I don't know what you do with them at this point. That's my only concern. I don't know who you really put them up against. I mean, you have Karrion Kross leading a group, but realistically, like you're trying to get that over for the umpteenth time. Are you going to sacrifice that to push the Wyatts? And realistically, like Bo Dallas, is it believable he would beat Karrion Kross in realistic terms? I don't see it. I don't see that. So I don't know what you do with them. Other than them causing chaos, I don't know where you go with this as a group as a whole to be compelling, to find it interesting. They've always had difficulty booking supernatural characters other than The Undertaker or people feuding with The Undertaker. Taker's not there anymore. So I'm not sure where you go with um the Wyatts. Like, who do you put them up against? There's not really stables there to have them challenge, because assuming they're staying on Raw, who do you really put them up against? New Day, they're teasing a breakup, so you can't even put them in there. And just the Savage bloodline is running roughshod on SmackDown. Unless you have those two go at it, I don't really know what you do with them.
I think it's one of those things, and the downfall of Bray for me, well, the Fiend, was the fact that they put him in the title picture so soon. I think you keep these guys away from any championship, maybe forever. Like, just have them take people out for the sake of taking them out. Have people feud with them when they maybe need a gimmick change, like they started doing with the Fiend, and I quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, the thing is, people can beat them, but they've got to really establish them for like a year first and have nobody beat them for the first year and stuff like that. But you are right. They did take a lot of people out. They shot Chad Gable in the head and he's practically dead. Clark, do you have something to add?
This is about Havoc. This isn't, if it was Bo Dallas, I understand. This isn't Bo Dallas. This is the tortured soul of Blackjack Mulligan. That's who Uncle Howdy is. That's exactly who Uncle Howdy is. This is an entity that's entirely separate, and it's something that pro wrestling is dearly missed. The supernatural, all of that, the character aspect, it's dearly missed for a long time, and I really want to give him a shot. I don't think they need to wrestle a singles match, like has been said, 100%. But do I believe that Uncle Howdy can target Karrion Kross and his group? And I get they're not faces, but it doesn't really matter, because at first we're going to want to cheer for Howdy, and we're going to want to put our cell phone lights on, and we're going to want to do the fireflies. We're going to want to do that. And if we can one by one introduce each character, we all know who they are. We all know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But introduce them as the current iteration of the character that they're playing and unmask one by one down the road. This can be a group that can run roughshod and show versatility. It's something that I think is dearly missed. And it can work. It can work.
I agree with you. They're going to have to establish that soon. And granted, I don't mean soon as in next week, But you got to keep in mind they're over now for the nostalgia. You got a lot of
Yes.
goodwill because of the nostalgia and the history with Bray. You need to get this thing moving so it's more than just nostalgia.
Yes.
And
We
I
got a
think they did a
comment
great
over on
job with that last night.
over on Instagram from Assad Sitawi. I apologize if I butchered that name, but Sitawi. Because they shouldn't choose they didn't choose Alexa Bliss. Alexa has the legacy of Bray Wyatt in their alliance in the past. Like Alexa is the women's version of Bray. Alexa Bliss just had another baby. She's not necessarily available, and I don't think they're going to go to 6. I don't know how much she
I think they
factors into
might.
this,
I reckon they
but
are
it
maybe
is
going to it.
possible. If they were to, Alexa's got to be Sister Abigail. Is my
No,
opinion on that.
maybe. No, I just keep her gimmick from before, to be honest, because she had it and that worked, and that was
I
the
think her
brainchild of
gimmick
Bray.
was leading to a reveal that she's the actual Sister Abigail.
Okay.
I had forgotten about this. Somebody had posted this, and I had completely forgotten this. At one point, Bray was going to play Sister Abigail because he was supposed to face Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And got
They
sick, and
abandoned it.
AJ replaced him. But like they had the graphic of him, in a veil as Sister Abigail at one point.
Yeah, no, that
wild.
is a great point indeed. But I mean, the one thing as well, which is interesting with all of this, which I was thinking about yesterday, I don't know if they're going to unmask these guys. I genuinely think that the plan might be. No, I think the plan genuinely is because they said, Bo Dallas said when they were about to return in that documentary, he said we want to create something that will live on forever. I think the plan is to recast these people when people move on. I reckon the plan is going to be keep them anonymous and recast them over time. I really, really do.
Possible. I do understand that from a creative standpoint, but I think it is more impactful. It's more impactful if you establish the characters as a part of the group and you have all of this creative room for it to really build upon.
Yeah.
And I think that's the route that I would
Talking of sickos, Tony Khan, as you said, Anthony, does like to fuck for them. And we've got to move on to talk about this, right? Because
Owen Hart.
The Owen Hart Cup is kicking off tonight, and I want to bring you in, Tommy, to talk about this, right? I said my piece on it. It's only 16, so it's only 8 competitors. It should be 16, in my opinion. The fact it's 8, I think, is not great. Claudio Pack tonight. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But yeah, do you think the move would have been for this to be 16 competitors over 8? Or are you happy they're keeping it, smaller?
I think 16 would have been great, honestly. I think that I love that AEW and Tony Khan like to replicate some of the New Japan and All Japan and all that stuff with their tournaments and their series and stuff like that. So I think they're doing a great job of that. They just need more of it and more consistency and larger numbers and stuff like that. So I think 8 is okay. 16 would have been fantastic. Even probably 12 would have been fine too if we were to cut it in the middle. But I mean, it's definitely something. I mean, I don't see how Bryan Danielson doesn't win and he gets that shot. I like that they added that stipulation to it that whoever wins gets a shot at the title. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and how it plays out. But, 8 is fine. 12 would have been fine. 16 would have been fine. But, I just want more good wrestling. And if we have more people in the tournament, that means more good wrestling. And same thing goes for the women's side. It'll be interesting to see what they do on the women's side, who kind of comes out victorious. I think Saraya should probably get it, especially if they're going to do the payoff at All In. But they kind of did that last year with her, so I'm not sure what they would want to do on the women's side. But yeah, I mean, if I were to have a hard stance on it, 8 is not enough. 16 should be it. 12 even should be it. But as long as the matches are bangers and they're good, we'll forget about that number pretty quickly.
That is definitely true. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I was just thinking when you were talking then, I wouldn't have even been against them having it as 32 and having like just a special in I don't know, some like small, like the arena they're in for AEW Dark before, a smaller venue. and have like the first round, the first 16 matches over like 2 days or something, a 2-day event, right? Where it just goes up on YouTube. It's not for TV. And then from there, you have the 16, and then you can do the 16 on TV because they have Collision, they have Dynamite, they have Rampage. They have, I mean, what's that? 5 hours of TV a week? They have enough time to do a 16 men and women's bracket. No doubt. I mean, WWE did it. And I mean, let's be real about it. They technically actually it's the same because they're Raw too, but I reckon AEW could have done it, and that's the it's the in-ring product AEW. That's what's meant to really be its selling point, and I think they've just missed the golden opportunity here. But I do agree with you. At the end of the day, I want more good wrestling, just like you do, and this is gonna be some good wrestling. And in fact, tonight on AEW Dynamite, we do have a lot of great wrestling. Shard is gonna be at the show in case you guys didn't know. If you see him, go and say hi. No, it's this week.
Woof.
Yeah, I know.
Went out of my way to make that T-shirt.
Oh, well, he's got it for the next one now.
Yeah, it'll be great for the next show.
but we have a couple more comments here. David Marge saying is going to be cool. And Shard wants Mariah May to win it all. Well, maybe Shard can take a quick detour and come to California in the next few hours to pick it up.
Fly in, fly back.
Yeah, and they'll have to.
It's like the end of the Parent Trap remake when they get that plane that specially flies faster than normal planes.
What a pull! I like that reference.
How did they do that? I'll never understand that. Dennis Quaid, podcast. What?
Classic.
We're talking all the TV shows and movies today, but tonight, AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan is booking it for the sickos. And if I like this card, which I actually do, I must be a sicko, I guess. MJF versus Roosh commercial free to kick off the show. I'm excited for that. We're going to have Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay face to face. Claudio versus Pac in the Owen Hart Cup. Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose in the Owen Hart Cup. AEW Tag Champions, the Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed in an Eliminator match. I hate Eliminator matches. I'd be thrilled if we were to never see an Eliminator match again. But hey, I'm sure that'll be a good match. With Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa signing the contract for their Forbidden Door match. That could be a lot of fun, especially if Mariah May is present, which I'm sure she will be. We're also going to have the reveal of the bracket for the Owen Hart Cup for both the men and the women's. And we've also got, oh no, we have a more than 6 people in the ring match. I'm going to hate this. Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Dante Martin taking on Carl Fletcher, Roderick Strong, Takeshita, and Zack Sabre Jr. You've got Zack Sabre Jr. on your show and you're wasting him in a match with more than 6 people. I hate it. But Tommy, what is your thoughts?
Card stacked. It's gonna be a fun Wednesday night watching Dynamite tonight. Always excited to see Swerve and Ospreay kind of go face to face. You know, their match at Forbidden Door will be great. I'm sure their match at All In when they book that again will be great. But it's just exciting to see. I saw a interview with Toni Storm the other day saying that her Forbidden Door is always open, and I was dying laughing. She is everything right now, and she is just killing it. So I love to see her and what kind of fun antics that'll be for the contract signing. MJF Roosh is going to be great. I mean, Roosh is one of the best performers in the world. He's just not good on the mic and not relatable. So that's why he doesn't get a push hardly at all, but in the ring, he's phenomenal. Seeing ZSJ on TV is going to be great too. He's just something else, man. He was ahead of his time in the mid 2010s, late 2010s, and he's just still doing his thing. And people that think he's boring are crazy because he is just a phenomenal wrestler. So it's going to be a fun night. I'm excited. I try to watch Dynamite live as much as I can, so it's going to be fun to see everybody go tonight.
Absolutely. No, it always is a fun watch. And yeah, I think it's going to be an entertaining match, of course, minus that more than 6-person tag match, which I hate. Bobby Petito says Pac is his pick to win the men's. and then wrestle against Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland at All In. I mean, that is a hell of a pick.
That would be
Shard
fun.
is claiming credit. He's saying they stacked it for him. I mean, yeah, sure, Shard, sure.
Right.
Anthony, of course, you'll be reviewing the show on Throwback Thursday tomorrow. At times, you have been called an AEW critic, but are you going to be a critic of this card, or are you going to be hyped for it?
Depends whether or not there's a learning tree segment, because I hate those. But side note, Clark, my show's next week, so if you need to mail a shirt, I could get it in time. You know, as a whole, the two things that stick out to me, obviously, is the Roosh MJF match. I want to see MJF fight and wrestle, because we haven't seen it in a while. So I want to see what's there. Is he 100%, or what are we going to see? The other thing that intrigues me, and I do critique this every Thursday, is I don't feel that they've made Swerve have that presentation as a legit world champion. Like, he's the world champion, but it almost feels like the booking is an afterthought, that Ospreay is the anointed one, that he will be the one that will eventually take this belt off of Swerve, whether it's at Forbidden Door, whether it's at All In, whatever, it's gonna happen. And that's how it feels. So this is your opportunity to make it very clear it is Swerve's, and he is not going down without a fight. Like, you really need to establish Swerve as legit. Because right now the booking that they've done with him has not presented him as a big deal. And that's on Tony Khan. That's on the booking. That's not on Swerve. Swerve's still the performer that he's been, but how they're booking him, he doesn't come off like a Roman, like a Cody, like a Moose. Like, he doesn't come off as the guy in the company. He very much comes off as an afterthought or a transitional champion, and that's not what you want as the face of your company.
I do completely agree with you there in terms of how he has been presented. Something's felt off, and it's nothing to do with Swerve, because every time he's there, he's killing it. It's the positions he's being put in. I will say I'm still convinced Ospreay's not winning that belt, because he's just won the other belt. I think there's going to be some shenanigans with the Don Callis family, and I don't think we're going to see it for quite some time. But I would also like to see Swerve champion, sorry, not Swerve. I'd like to see Ospreay as champion, but I do think Swerve's going to hold it for a while longer, and hopefully they'll actually book him like a world champion going forward. That's what I hope. But Clark, what are you hoping for heading into tonight?
So, I obviously we're going to get no major results tonight, but I'm excited about the tournament. It's the Owen Hart Cup. It's something that I'm always looking forward to. We got two fun matches. We got Statlander and Nyla Rose, and then we got Pac and Claudio Castagnoli. Right. I've got Pac going over on the men's side. On the women's side, I've got Stat going over. As far as the entire tournament is concerned, the idea that they get a championship opportunity at the end of it is just so intriguing to me, and I think it's the right thing to do, and I'm glad that they finally pulled the trigger, and that's the move this year. This is something that should have happened before. In the year that Britt Baker and Adam Cole won, they should have got title opportunities. So we didn't see those belts being carried around. Honest to goodness, there was more value in my eyes to the Dynamite Diamond ring, and that's a shame, because this is honoring Owen Hart's legacy, and I'm really glad that they're paying it off July 10th in Calgary. I think that's the right thing to do. It's going to be awesome with Martha Hart there and everything. But yeah, I don't know who wins each side. I just hope it's well executed, and we need Swerve rivalries. As far as what you guys spoke about with Swerve and Ospreay, I agree with you, Ben, on that. It's going to be a while. And it should be. It should be a while.
Our Instagram comments are going to love it when I post a quote saying the Dynamite Diamond ring is more important than the Owen Hart Cup. I'm only joking, Clark. I'm not doing that.
They all love me anyway.
But I agree, Bobby. I'm interested to see who else is in the field today. But it's going to be a fun show. That is for sure. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see, you know, how it goes and all of this. They do need to book Swerve better. They do need to book him like,
Oh,
you know, to
yes.
Anthony's point, like
Yes.
a proper force.
He needs
It's
to
a
feel
no-brainer.
like the true world champion, and
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's missing from the reign. What's
Yeah.
really weird is the chase. He felt like the uncrowned champ.
Yeah.
They crowned him, and now we don't feel the same. It's such a difficult. Same thing with Cody, in my eyes. They're very parallel.
At least he's felt like a he's felt like a
I
champion.
don't know, man. We just started this show today about is Cody a face or a heel?
Yeah, but that's not
Very
because he's him
similar.
being a
It's
bad
tough
face.
with
That's
the
because
chase. No, I don't think Swerve has had
Undertaker
any
said.
negative work. It's a
he
booking thing.
hasn't any negative work. It's just nothing of note.
No,
Whereas
it's
Cody,
a booking thing. My point is there's definitely parallels to be drawn between the two situations. Because look, if your babyface champion isn't that over or isn't being presented as such or whatever it may be, there's a similarity there. There's some.
I will agree with you that the chase is better than the outcome when it happens. But that's the same case in like 90% of babyface title reigns, and hopefully both will, you know, transition over time. But with Swerve, I think it's the card placement and just he's not being given much to work with. I think that's what's happening there. But
I mean, Cody just opened the pay-per-view though, the PLE. I don't know if you saw
but
that.
he also main evented the
placement.
other ones before that. That's nothing of note. That was in Scotland, and there's another
just
world
saying.
championship too.
I don't know if you saw the hey, you know.
That's not one of
What
them.
have you done for me lately?
Oh. Anyway, on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you to Clark, thank you to Tommy, and thank you to Anthony for joining me here today. It's been a really fun one, guys, and thank you to all of you for commenting and watching along. Please like, comment wherever you are watching, and we will see you tomorrow for Allison Analysis in the morning, and then in the night, 11 p.m. UK, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for Throwback Thursday with Clark, Anthony, and Jard. We will see you guys then. Peace.